Ask about if you ask like a group of Gen Xers what used to kind of keep them up at night, I think the Bermuda Triangle might be at the top of the list.
Again, as if the triangle's gonna like sneak up on you in the middle of the night and you'll be disappeared.
So the thing, before I get into the fact that this actually is kind of a real fear, I wanted to figure out why we were afraid of it. And so, like, it seems there were incidents that happened all the way back in the 40s when it came to this part of the world in terms of war bomber planes sort of like vanishing or whatever, and I'll get into a little bit more of that later. But as a result, there were like some books. So when the Bermuda Triangle came into like the lexicon of people's minds, authors and film and TV used it as a plot.
Oh, okay.
So a few things had happened in the 40s and some stuff in the 70s, and I'll get into it. But as a result, people were like, oh, yeah, the Bermuda Triangle. We should include this in our book. So in 1974, Charles Berlitz wrote a book called The Bermuda Triangle.
Original.
And so this book, it was like a mystery. It was a mystery book. And so it kind of fueled the fire of the Bermuda Triangle being a scary thing. Then in the late 70s, there was a TV movie directed by Richard Friedenberg, and he explored mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle. Okay. And so there were like...
I'm seeing the trend.
Yeah, so in the 70s, and then even in 1984, the Philadelphia experiment was... it was a movie. It really was not about the Bermuda Triangle. It was a science fiction film, but it included like elements of this mysterious place that people flew into and disappeared. So you may say, well, did anybody actually disappear in the Bermuda Triangle?
I was thinking that, but I figured you would tell me.
They did. So in 1945, 5 torpedo bombers vanished without a trace in the Bermuda Triangle. And like, okay, so that was 1945, right? There were different occurrences that happened between 1945 throughout the 70s and 80s, small situations where people, either their boats went missing or their plane got diverted flying through this area, right? Okay. So the mystique continued on, but in 2005, there was actually an airplane that disappeared with 3 people on board. Yeah.
Was it Carol Baskin's husband?
No.
No, I mean, I just feel like when they disappear, I feel like they do go somewhere. We're just not privy. Yeah, because they don't want us.
But
to
why
find
are they disappearing in the? So you're saying it was like they made it up? They flew out of?
No, I'm not.
They didn't want to be found.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so maybe that happened in 2005, where the 3 people were on board. But again, in 2007, April 10th, 2007, there was another airplane that disappeared. 1 pilot was on board, never found the plane. This was in 2007.
Okay, these are recent, but I still feel like I need to know more about these people. Like,
okay.
Were they depressed? Were they like about to be arrested?
Okay.
Were they drug smugglers?
That's individuals, small private planes.
Yeah.
Disappear. They disappear in the Bermuda Triangle. You're saying maybe they were like trying to get away from tax fraud, tax evasion.
Exactly. Who knows?
Something like that. Yeah. So then how do you explain in 2017 the Turkish airline flight TK-183 was forced to change its direction from Havana, Cuba to Washington, Dulles, and after some mechanical and electronic problems occurred over the triangle, they went missing for a moment.
But they came back.
They came back.
Where were they?
They could not be found on
But where do they think they were?
I don't know. I didn't go that deep into it.
You had me there. I was like, where did they go?
And then in May of 2017, another private aircraft.
This is recent.
It is recent.
Why didn't I hear about this?
I don't know. Maybe you were too young. I don't know. You weren't focused on it because clearly
they don't want me to know.
The Bermuda Triangle doesn't scare you. Another private aircraft, which was like 24,000 feet, vanished from the radar and the radio contact with air traffic controllers in that area, and then the plane wreckage was found later.
Where?
I don't know. Where was it?
In the ocean?
I think it was in the ocean.
Okay.
Listen,
this is important information.
I know. I'm realizing now as I'm reading this, I'm like, she probably wants more details.
I am the crime girl. I just talked about how I'm traumatized.
I agree. But my point in this is that this one, although some might consider it to be a little irrational, it actually does have some teeth.
Well, I wouldn't fly there.
Exactly.
I'm not flying there.
I'm not flying there now either. Like, I'm still not interested in flying anywhere near the Bermuda Triangle. So this one kind of remains with me.
Okay.
All right. So just a little science part of it. They claim that like this area has a lot of hexagonal clouds. Like this area has those.
It's a glitch in the matrix.
Basically. And so these clouds act like air bombs. And they're also can produce hurricane air force winds. And so those winds produce high waves, specifically in this area. And so therefore, there's a lot of issues with, sea vessels and airplanes flying through this area. So it is scientifically kind of like a danger zone.
Okay.
And so we had a right to be afraid of the Bermuda Triangle growing up.
And to remain afraid.
And to remain afraid.
Don't fly there. Don't do it.
So there you go.